So there's the salad of the day and my version. They're exactly the same, but I didn't bother to take the skin stuff off of the oranges for mine because that's time consuming. And I don't see the point. So it's an Asian salad today. And normally I would put sliced almonds in this, but I don't have any right now. And I forgot to put garlic in. I put garlic in normally too. And it's also good with 5 spice powder. But I didn't put that in. Today all I did, it's good this way too. Today all I did was some ginger. I don't know, it's kind of breezy now all of a sudden. I don't think these will stay up.
Them up.
Yeah. I'll just set them like that.
It's quite still today, but it seems to be picking up a little bit.
So I just put I mix in a jar, shake, some tahini and sesame oil and ginger. And that's it. So, and orange rind. But it'll be good this way too. And I put some cucumber, celery, chives, mixed sweet peppers. Oh, usually I also put something hot in there, like some hot peppers or something in the dressing. But I did not this time because James does not like hot.
No.
Oh, that's amazing. It's good.
It smells great.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes even better.
Yeah. Oh, and I put spinach in here because I had a lot of spinach to go. And the reason that James's salad is smaller than my salad is because I don't know if he'll eat that. I can make him more later if he likes it.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard.
And also, I usually put snap peas in here. I didn't have any.
Too bad. I always
We're
like
not
those
going
in
to the
salad.
store to get things if we don't have to.
Yeah, we went out. This is the first time I've been on the internet for, I'd say, more than 3 months.
And it might be the last. We'll see how it works out. It worked out today, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's people at the university
Hanging around.
computer thing, we don't want to go.
They only have one open.
So
When
yeah,
we first
one
went
lab.
there today, there was no one there.
But
And a couple of people tripped in it.
yeah. And then we went, but we could have stayed. They were way over at the other end. But so we were probably just fine. And we were wearing masks and gloves.
Yeah.
I
made it hard for
alcoholed
me.
down the computer and the seat before I used it, and a woman came in later and she said, "You don't have to. I do the seats and the computers after everyone goes." So,
Doesn't hurt to
but I mean, I can't know.
double it
Sure.
up.
So anyway,
She might miss them.
she might.
She seemed very confident. She's very nice. I mean, she volunteered to help out. She was there doing library stuff. And then
Well, she's an
joining
amiable. Amiables are pretty confident, especially women.
Yeah, Patty was her name, so she's watching. Thank you, Patty. Very, very confident. Very nice.
No.
More than confident.
So I guess we'll talk about Creep. So
Oh yeah. Okay.
this it's made to be like a documentary.
Yeah.
It's made to seem like that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was suspenseful enough. James thought it was awful.
Well, not really awful. I knew what was happening right away.
Okay.
When I watch stuff like that, I think my motivation is different. Like, I really like watching sports, not as much as I used to, because I'm going along. I think it really, really started way back when. Montreal Canadiens make it to the finals against Calgary Flames. And this was when Al MacInnis really broke out. Had a hard point from the shot. The Montreal Canadiens made it to the finals based on their penalty kill. To a large extent, the Calgary Flames made it to the finals based on their power play. And everyone is saying, oh, the Canadiens are going to shut down Al MacInnis and the Calgary power play. And I was saying, they've got Jeff Gorton. And what the Canadiens were doing was collapsing their penalty kill. You can't collapse your penalty kill when you're facing someone like Al MacInnis with a shot from the point. I know this doesn't mean much to you, but it might mean something to someone out there. So what I said was, what the Canadiens have got to do is change it all up. Collapse 3 guys on their penalty kill and put Jeff Courtnall, who they'd acquired, I believe that year, maybe during the middle of the year, and announce it. We're putting him right on Al MacInnis, and what we're going to be doing is saying to Al MacInnis, hey buddy, you know, like anytime it comes back to the point, you're in a race with it with Jeff Courtnall, who's one of the fastest guys in the league, and we're going to be playing breakaway, and we're going to be playing to get shorthanded goals. We're going to be going for goals on your guys' power play. Al MacInnis was not a very good skater at that point in time, and he wasn't very good in the turn. But no, Canadians decided to go with their what had got them there, and they lost. And they lost, I think, for the first time on home ice, Stanley Cup on home ice. It's the only time the Calgary Flames ever won a Stanley Cup. And I'm going, well, I'm not terribly sad about this, because they weren't able to figure out what they had to do to win the cup. So, same sort of thing when you're watching something, you know, where you go, yeah, I figured this all out. If I can figure it out, you've seen how I just kind of go with the flow when I'm watching a movie. I'm not very good at figuring stuff out. I'm not really heavily motivated. When I'm figuring it out, then to me it's just not good enough.
Well, half the time you fall asleep.
Well, this is before I got on heavy team work, right? I've always been this way.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, maybe this is a spoiler alert or something like that, but yeah, it should be. Huh? I look at this guy, the creep, and I'm going, well, he seems like a creep to me. Anyone who doesn't figure that out, why should I cheer for him? Why should I feel nervous about their fate? So, right from the get-go, I'm saying, guy's still in the car. Guy goes boo or something like that. I said to myself, well, I'd be out of it. I'm still in the car. So there we go. Sorry about that in case you didn't tune out. I want to see the thing. Anyway, not my favorite movie. I consider it a horror movie. You don't consider that horror. It's more like suspense or thriller.
It wasn't that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you didn't jump once at it. Maybe once.
Okay, Paris is Burning. James watched part of this. It's from the library, and I guess it could be our machine. Our machine's old. Sometimes it just decides it doesn't want to play something. So
It totally
it
froze
might
up.
not be the fault of
Yeah. It totally
whoever
froze up.
wrote it in the past.
Kind of halfway through or something like that.
Yeah.
45 minutes through, that might be.
But
That
we got to learn where Madonna got voguing from.
Looks like.
Yeah.
That's what they were claiming. It was, well, it was kind of a revelation, I gotta say. A bit of one. It
Well-
seemed like a total waste of time. But
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not into that sort of thing because, well, anyway, it's just a different culture. Like, the one guy was saying that, what was he saying? He had, his dad told him he had 3 strikes against him it's going to be really hard for him, because not only is he black, a man, but he's also gay. So it's going to be hard for him. And it's like, well, being a gay black man might be harder than, or as hard as being a black woman. But I don't really see the, anyway, I don't know. But anyway, there was one part where he was talking about how when he was young or whatever, he would watch Dynasty and stuff, and find out about all these people who had like 14,000 rooms in their house or something like that. And he didn't want to be poor, and he didn't want to be middle class. He wanted to be one of those
Upper class.
really upper class people. And it's like, well, that's a problem. Nobody should want to. That's ridiculous.
Upper class people are wastes of skull. Okay?
Nobody needs 14,000 rooms.
No.
And nobody needs to have that much. If you somehow that's your goal, that's your dream to be like that, there's
no
something
sympathy
wrong
for me.
with your values. So anyway.
So I've got something to say. Like there was one person saying, I just want to be some middle class white woman. Doesn't have to do any work. She gets all her stuff from her. Look, let's get one thing straight, okay? That's the way it was for aristocrats. They were born to the ropes, and to a certain extent, it might be that way with I don't like the term middle class because it's been used to describe
there's a few people, like
capitalists.
we have known women that were kept women, but man, they had to really work for that. Like,
But
they were thin, very thin, and very dolled up. I can't imagine how much time it would take dolling oneself up and keeping themselves like that. Anyway,
this was in the thing generally.
Okay.
All you had to do to be. So I think the two things that were put together, middle class, bourgeois stuff. Mm-hmm. People who live in cities. It's like a stupid reactionary socialist / anarchist / communist slur on professional people that they belong in with capitalists in the middle class. And you can see what they've done. You look at Pol Pot and what he did to people like that. But, it started with Lenin. What they did to doctors and stuff like that. And I'm not a big fan of doctors, but the ones that actually do the job. We're specialists. Kind of keeping me alive. I'm sure there are a lot of people who probably get annoyed at the doctors for doing that. But they actually did some work to get to that point where they can keep me alive. It's not just, hey, presto, magic. We're keeping James alive. Someone figured this stuff out, and then someone has to get the stuff, figured out what was figured out, and figure out what to do for me. I'm not the only one.
And I don't know. I mean,
lots of people getting saved by those kind of professional middle class people. Mm-hmm. So, there was resentment. How these sort of people do. Why did they get what? They just do it by sitting around. No, they don't. They actually get out there and apply themselves. So, man, oh man, I don't want to hear that stuff. That doesn't help anyone out.
No. Honestly, if that's what a person aspires to, I mean,
why should we sympathize?
No. I don't know. I mean, maybe you will luck out, and somebody will, if that's what your goal is. But maybe it's good to have a fallback plan. Like maybe you can hope for that while you're going to university
Yeah.
and learning some skills and then going out and working. And
Yeah. Just read some books, for Pete's sake. And reading books is better than getting on the internet and all that sort of stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. Understand the American dream's only a dream.
And I understand there's lots of other dreams out there. Even more stupid, actually. You know, like aristocrats' dream. Hey, you know, like, I was born to be king. I was born to be a duke. And, you know, I'm talking in European terms there, but there are lots of, you know, there's kings have been found throughout much of the world. Kings, emperors, then their flunkies.
So should
Anyway,
we talk about this one?
let's go for that.
A Haunting at Silver Falls. Wow, this was bad.
It was so
So
bad,
bad.
I almost enjoyed it.
No, I did not.
Pauline didn't enjoy it.
So bad.
But yeah.
Wow.
Was it Space Channel type of chimps?
Yeah, like there was one guy I recognized.
Yeah.
And I don't like, he has muscles, but they're like fat, steroid-looking muscles, you know, not healthy-looking
really
muscles.
looks like a bad WWE
Yeah.
type of...
Yeah, not attractive. And so I did recognize him
Yeah. Was he kind of paired up with Sorbo, Kevin Sorbo or something like that?
in a show, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And a worse actor than Kevin Sorbo.
yeah,
There we go.
so bad.
No demure from Pauline there.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad. He might have been the worst of the whole lot. And I don't know if there was a decent
Yeah.
token actor there.
I mean,
at
there
all.
were teenage actors in there,
Yeah,
and they were, I think, better than him.
yeah.
And they were bad.
They were bad.
They were all bad.
And they were all poorly directed. You know, everything was like too quiet and all that sort of stuff. It's
Yeah.
just, everyone was kind of phoning in their performance.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
time I'm thinking, okay, these ghosts, girls, or one girl, I don't know, were talking to, or miming, whatever. Couldn't they just say, it's this guy, or it's these
Yeah,
guys,
that's
or
right.
whatever, right? Like, why?
Instead, it has to be some big
Why
mystery,
there's a big,
you know?
we have to watch an hour and a half? Just point to the freaking.
Yeah,
Anyway.
get it over and done with and
Okay.
do another movie or whatever.
You were going to review a book.
Oh, check this out. 3 for the price of one.
Oh.
Just one, but
Mm.
2 that I did before.
Mm.
But this is just a follow-up. So,
Mm.
Color Chest. I've probably been dealing with this for about 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. I like using it for poetry,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. I think the guy who set this up, this Dr. Max Lucia.
Yeah,
In Switzerland?
I don't remember things like that. So what I do is I'll use it for artwork and stuff too, but I don't use it until after the artwork's done. And then I say to James, what does such and such and such and such mean? Or he'll just tell me when I get done. So I'm not actually using it to create the artwork. I'm just going by feel.
Neither do I.
And then it fits, you know. It's like, yep, that makes sense. That book totally works.
The guy claims to have, and I think he has done statistical studies. There's a bit of a problem when he says it tells what personality is like. I think it gives more of an indication of the kind of stresses a person is going through.
Mm-hmm.
So I can remember giving a test to a person who just retired, and they've made a mistake. Within a year they were back working. And then another person who was schizophrenic. Both color tests indicated. Now, this is only testimony, 2 testimonies. Both indicated they were under severe stress.
Well, yeah, and there was me. When he first met me, he said the people that chose my color choices were often people who chose my color choices came out of a concentration camp or something. But the thing is, it's funny. Like, I was mad because I was sure that those colors were absolutely wrong and your test was stupid. I think I told you That's what's stupid. But I saw this color here as orange. I was sure that was
And
orange.
he classifies it as brown.
Sure doesn't look
It's an
orange
orangey
now.
brown, there's no doubt about it. He says
Yeah,
it's
but-
basically the same color as an orange, but an orange in shape. That's the way it is, right?
Mm.
Chocolate and orange in shade are basically the same color. So, or certain types of chocolate, probably light ones. And then the other day I reviewed this thing, and Das Harmonie Gesetzbuch, the law of harmony. So this kind of gives more the theory of the whole thing. And I'd rather just deal with the stats. You know what I'm saying? What's it like? You know, like what percentage of people who've been in concentration camps pick what colors? Right? And then, this one I just finished the other day. The Lusher, Max Lusher Cube.
Do you need more orange?
I could use some orange. Yeah, I see.
Is it okay just like that? Because I
it's
don't
great.
have it cut up, and I see you're out of orange, and I feel bad for you.
Yeah, I like it. So this one, okay. This one, he kind of graduated to bigger and better things. This one just, this color test, which I think would have come out sometime in the late 60s perhaps. His original color test, the one that was kind of 69, would have been maybe 20 years before this, maybe 48 or 49, with 81 colors. This one only has 8, or something like that. This one has 8 colors, kind of light flat. But this one, you can see it's got cubes there, and it's kind of, I'm a little bit skeptical of it. Colors arranged with patterns. I don't know. Anyway, he claims to have done statistical studies and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he's dead now, but he's fine. I think that one was the Lucia Verpa. Would have been maybe in the 80s. Let me just check and see. 1991. Pretty impressive. Anyway, do I recommend this stuff? Don't spend any money on it, but I don't know. I think if you're going to be doing some poetry or something like that, some painting, it might pay to know what you're.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it pays to. I mean, do whatever you feel is right, but at least that's what I do, and it works out.
Well,
But
try to play around with some color.
it's interesting to figure out what you're thinking. You know, to have verification, I guess, that you're. You're on the right track.
Yeah. You know, like I first noticed it when it was a guy. I started looking at. He's a great poet, one of the best Canadian poets possibly ever. He haven't published too many poems. I don't think he wrote too. I think he wrote most of the stuff when he was in his early 20s. Then he gave it up. But here's the poem that impressed me. It's quite long. I think about 75 lines long. My life flashed by me when I killed the November wasp. That's the opening line. And what you've got there is the color emphasized about wasp, right? Yellow and black. Now, what type of personality does a person have, according to Dr. Max Lusher, if they prefer yellow and black? So what he describes, this poet, what he says is, you know, he's killing him, and he hits the wasp, and it juts its head further, you know, just to take the blow. You know what I'm saying? And so people who prefer that color, according to Max Lusher, self-destructive and headstrong. Wow, there's something going on. Unless this guy, you know, like he's never told me about being, you know, having read the color test or anything like that. And you know, he emphasizes that again. You know, and again, that's how it opens. That's how it ends, right? There's a second section, which is about talking about his youth. You see, like he's identifying with the wasp, even though he's a young pup. Right? He's killing the wasp. And he's kind of like killing himself. My life flashed by me when I killed the November wasp. He's thinking about his death down the road. So then he's talking about hanging out in red clover. It's not just red clover, but red clover. And he's talking about nature, singing the songs of experience and stuff like that to a young pup, hanging out in the coolers or whatever. And what type of person prefers this green and red? Oh, it's red is offensive, green is defensive. It's an individual, right? Someone who's just like totally an individual. Not pushing me around. I might be pushing you around. That sort of stuff. So that's identified with his youth. And then he says he wants to hang around in the bargain basements. He wants to hang around in places where they sell oriental goods and stuff like that. And all of that is brown and gray. So what sort of person prefers brown and gray? Just like, what does it mean? Exhaustion or stuff like that. So, like what he did, those are the colors, and he tends to bind them together. And he tends to, it's 75 lines long. It's not just a sign where, a little color here. It's kind of limiting the palette, as they say in the art. And so you get this sense of kind of like a tone poem, but it's a color tone. And when I saw that, and was analyzing it here, I thought, there might be something to it. There might be something to it. So I used it every so occasionally in my stuff. It's more like, oh, that's why I want to put that in this poem. I'm going to maybe go with it. It's more like that. It's the same way with when I'm talking about using rhyme.
Do you want to share the name of the poet so that they can look it up?
Well, I think it was just published in the Meteors, the student newspaper at the University of London. Now, Ron Fazio. Probably should be said Fazio. It's Italian, but it's gone.
Well, they might be able to find him.
Oh, I don't think so.
James loves that poem. He's talked about it a lot.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Very good. So I even showed it to my brother. He's a university instructor, something like that, at York University and things like that. He was reasonably impressed. Not as impressed as me, but everyone's got different tastes and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm impressed. Hearing him talk about it.
Yeah. But, there we go. Color.